Welcome to your next class of biology. Today we are going to start respiration. In the last class, you have done nutrition and digestive system. So, what is the role of digestive system in our body? Digestive system, whatever we eat complex food, and complex food is converted into the simplest one. And this simpler form of food is absorbed by the blood in small intestine, and then it reaches to each and every cell of our body through blood. Now what happens to this simple form of food? This we are going to learn in the next topic, which is known as respiration. Now children, if I ask you what is respiration, what will be your answer? Expected answer is, you all will tell me, ma'am, taking in oxygen and releasing out carbon dioxide is respiration. But this is not respiration. This is breathing. Taking in oxygen and releasing out carbon dioxide is breathing, and breathing is a part of respiration. Now I want to tell you what is difference between breathing and respiration.
Are breathing and respiration the same thing? I'm sure your answer will be yes, but that's not true. Let's understand what exactly the difference between the two is. To begin with, I want you to answer one simple question. How do we get the energy to perform all activities? Most of us will answer from the food we eat, right? Well, that's partially correct. The food we eat is the source of energy, which means that the energy is stored or locked inside the food. In order to unlock or derive the energy from it, the food needs to be broken down, and this requires oxygen. So we can say that the process in which the food is broken down in the cells with the help of oxygen to release energy is called respiration. And how is it different from breathing then? Well, breathing does not involve breakdown of food molecules inside the cells. In fact, breathing is purely the exchange of gases, oxygen and carbon dioxide to be precise. So the activity of inhalation and exhalation is breathing, whereas deriving energy from food molecules with the help of oxygen is respiration. Does this mean that breathing is a part of respiration? Absolutely. Breathing is a smaller process which is considered as a part of the larger process of respiration. Let's once again go through the definition of respiration. It's the process in which the food is broken down in the cells with the help of oxygen to release energy. And how do the cells get oxygen? It's due to breathing, right? That's why we say that breathing is a part of respiration.
Now children, are you getting the difference between breathing and respiration? So what is breathing? It is in exchange of O2 and CO2. And what is respiration? Respiration is O2 combines with glucose in the cell to release energy. So respiration is breaking of food to release energy, and breathing is exchange of gases. So breathing is a part of respiration. Now respiration is of two types: aerobic respiration. So children, respiration is of two types: aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Now what is the difference between the two? Aerobic respiration occurs in the presence of oxygen, and anaerobic respiration occurs in the absence of oxygen. So in aerobic respiration, glucose converts into carbon dioxide and water, and energy is released. And in anaerobic respiration, glucose converts into ethanol and carbon dioxide. In aerobic respiration, more energy is released, and in anaerobic respiration, less energy is released. So in aerobic respiration, by oxidation of one glucose molecule, 38 ATPs are produced. Now what is an ATP? ATP is adenosine triphosphate, which is the energy currency of our body. You have done in ninth standard. In anaerobic respiration, by oxidation of one molecule of glucose, only two ATP molecules are produced. So children, everyone knows simplest form of the food present in our cells is glucose, and glucose breaks down during respiration and energy is released. Now there are different ways, different pathways in which breakdown of glucose takes place. Now we are going to learn different pathways. Breakdown of glucose by various pathways. Glucose is a 6-carbon atom molecule. It is present in the cytoplasm. It breaks down in a molecule which is known as pyruvate. It has 3 carbon molecules. So what is the first step? Breaking down of glucose into pyruvate, which is 3 carbon atom molecule. Now in yeast cell, what happens? In the absence of oxygen, this pyruvate molecule breaks down into ethanol plus carbon dioxide plus energy is released. In muscle cells, what happens? This pyruvate, first step is same in all the cases. In the second step, lack of oxygen. First case is absence of oxygen. Second case is lack of oxygen. In the lack of oxygen in muscle cells, this pyruvate molecule breaks down into lactic acid and energy. I want to quote one example. During heavy exercise, what happens when you work out? Cramps are formed in your muscles. This formation of cramps is because of formation of lactic acid. During heavy workout or exercise, amount of oxygen lowers in your muscle cells. So insufficient amount of oxygen is supplied in muscle cells. So because of this insufficient supply of oxygen, formation of lactic acid takes place during vigorous exercise. This question is very important. Explain why cramps are formed during vigorous exercise. The answer will be because of the formation of lactic acid, cramps are formed. Now third way is in mitochondria, presence of oxygen, carbon dioxide is released, water is released, and 38 ATPs of energy is released. So this process takes place in mitochondria in our body cells. So in our body cells, what happens? Glucose obtained through nutrition, through digestive system. In cytoplasm, it forms pyruvate, 3 carbon atom molecule. Now this pyruvate, in the presence of oxygen, this oxygen has brought by the respiratory system from lungs through blood. This oxygen, in the presence of oxygen, this pyruvate molecule breaks down into carbon dioxide, water, and energy is released. So carbon dioxide is thrown out by the lungs, and water, extra water is also thrown out by the excretory system, and energy is stored. The energy released during this cellular respiration. Why this is known as cellular respiration? Because it is taking place in the cell. Is immediately used to synthesize a molecule called ATP, which is used to fuel all other activities in the cell. So children, we have learnt about respiration in animals. Now in plants also exchange of gases takes place. Exchange of gases in plants takes place through stomata, everyone knows, and large intercellular spaces are there. which ensure that all the cells are in contact with air. CO2 and O2 are exchanged by diffusion. Now everyone knows this process, diffusion, movement of gases from higher concentration to lower concentration. Animals have evolved different organs for the uptake of oxygen from the environment and for getting rid of the CO2. Now here we can discuss two types of animals, terrestrial animals and animals living in water. Terrestrial, living on land, living in water. So I want to tell you one thing, rate of breathing in aquatic animals is much faster as compared to terrestrial animals. What is the reason? Because amount of oxygen dissolved in water is very less as compared to amount of oxygen in air. Terrestrial animals are getting oxygen directly from the air, and animals living in water are dependent on dissolved oxygen present in water. That's why their breathing rate is higher. So children, this is all about respiration and breathing, different types of respiration and different pathway in which glucose can be broken down to release energy. Tomorrow we will start, in the next video we will start human respiratory system. Thank you. That's all for today.